insulin. So controlling insulin means controlling your blood sugar. It goes hand in hand. So I put these in, and this is the part I was telling you that you might want copies of or something on your computer to have, because I think this is becoming more and more important, because you can prevent disease and illness by knowing some of this information. If some of you have never had your lab work done, you have insurance, these are some of the things you might want to ask your doctor to test, because a lot of doctors will look at a group of people, and if you don't have any physical symptoms going on, your blood pressure isn't high, your blood sugar isn't high, they're like, why do you want to test this stuff? But there's a lot of prevention that you can do by knowing these numbers. You'll see my ranges are very different than the ranges you're getting on your lab slips. So my ranges are based on optimal health, not on the ranges that a lab uses, which is just an average of everybody who tests. That's what the labs do. So C-reactive protein is a marker for inflammatory disease. Inflammation can cause, like now that's kind of a buzzword out there, so it will cause arthritis, it will cause heart disease, cancers. When your body's inflamed, the body's in a really receptive place to be sick and to get an illness or a disease. So that's a marker for that, and it should be less than 1. I love testing magnesium. A lot of doctors won't do that, but if your magnesium is low in the blood, it means your body's extremely low. But magnesium helps lower blood pressure. It helps all your muscles and organs in your body calm down and relax. If you have a lot of stress, magnesium is a wonderful thing to take or to get more of in your food. It should be above 2. Cholesterol, I think we all know. HDLs, LDLs, we know. LDLs should be low because LDLs are the ones that are very unstable, so to speak. They become free radicals very quickly. That's why we want the LDL low and we want the HDL high. Homocysteine, has anyone heard of that? It's becoming a very popular thing. Doctors now know about it. They never used to. But it's an amino acid that can build up in the artery wall just like cholesterol. And it's very unstable as well, so it's more like an LDL, like a negative. So you want that to be below 7 for optimal health. And doctors will order it if you ask a lot of times. Triglycerides, again, I think everybody knows what those are. It's another fat in the blood that can get too high, and sugar is actually one of the main causes. I can get triglycerides down so fast. Within a week I can get, if someone's at 375, I can have their triglycerides down to 75 in a week. I've seen it before, so it can, and diet is key there, diet and exercise. So cholesterol takes a little longer just because of the way the molecule is, but triglycerides respond very quickly to diet. And then this is more of a blood sugar panel. So again, a lot of times people will just look at their fasting glucose and it's fine, but it doesn't tell the whole picture of what's going on in your body. If you've got diabetes in your family, I recommend asking for this panel of fasting glucose, fasting insulin, and your hemoglobin A1C, because that's giving you an indication of what has been going on with your blood sugar over time. Fasting glucose is just one snapshot. Gout acidity, again, that's common, so I put that in. It may not, you're doing your pH, I think, for your wellness. So again, if your body is really acidic, yeah, you can be getting gout, and it's more common in males than in females, but it also is setting your body up for, like, cancer loves an acidic environment. That's one thing that you can really do to prevent cancer, is have your body more alkaline. Liver, gallbladder, those are the markers there. Again, those ranges will be very different than what you see on your lab slip from your doctor's office. And they're just liver enzymes. That's what you're measuring there. Stress, I recommend that. A lot of doctors now, I get a lot of people coming in with their DHEA and their cortisol numbers. And it's important. It's better to see your cortisol through the day, but even if you get a snapshot in the morning, at least we can see if it's super high, because then we know how stressed you are, because cortisol goes up as stress goes up. B12 is important to know too. And the ranges you'll see here are very different than the ranges you'll see. If your energy is low and you're eating well, you're exercising, it might be B12. Because B12 you're supposed to make and you absorb it in your gut. So maybe that's what's going on. Osteoporosis. This one I think Dr. Cameron just had an article on, your vitamin D. I shouldn't even put 40 anymore. We're liking it above 65, 70, up to 80. People will ask me all the time about toxicity levels. There's no known toxicity levels of vitamin D. They've studied all the way up to 300 in somebody's blood. So if you can find one, let me know. But I've not found, and all the doctors I work with have not found any toxicity studies out there unless you're getting above 300. So what does vitamin D do?
It absorbs calcium.
Pardon?
Helps absorb calcium.
Exactly. What else? Any thoughts? Actually, there's 30, and you may correct me, I think there's 35,000 different functions that vitamin D actually does in the body. But the main one, after it pushes calcium into the bone, is cancer prevention. If you have had cancer or you're susceptible to it based on genetics, you want to make sure your vitamin D level is above 60 for sure. And vitamin D is so easy to take. The sun is the best way to get it, but a lot of people can't do that because their skin is sensitive. So taking it is an easy thing to do. Any comments? No? Okay.
D3?
Yeah, make sure it's a D3. Do you have D3 here? Okay. And I think you were even telling people how to dose it. Is that right?
You're better at this than I just tell them to take one tablet, which is 2,000 IUs a day of D3.
Right. What I tell people, that's a good dose, like an overall. But what I like people to know is their number. Because if you're I've seen people as low as 6, believe it or not. I've seen people in their 30s. I've never seen one above 30 if people aren't supplementing. That's just, and we live in California, so something's going on. But if you're one of those that's below 25, you might want to take 5,000 IUs a day. And if you're closer to 40, 2,000 is fine, and then get it tested again in 3 to 6 months just so you can see, because it's not going to go up rapidly. It will go up, but it's not going to go up to 80 in a week or so just because you're taking 5,000 IUs. It's going to take a while. And then the 2 cancers, again, these markers can be very iffy. It can be up and down for different reasons, but at least what I believe, at least gives you a reason to go get tested further. A lot of doctors say, oh, they're so unreliable, I'm not going to do it on you. I tell people maybe say, well, I'd like to see it anyway, because if it is high, then it's going to stimulate you to test me further. Just why not, especially if there's some in your family. So supplementation, who here takes supplements? Everybody, almost everybody. Again, supplements, there's a lot of, it's a $50 billion industry right now. There's so many supplements out there. I think the good thing that you all have here is Dr. Cameron's office, because he's got good quality. You go to a drugstore, you go to Costco, that's how most people buy their vitamins and supplements, and then they're not working or they don't feel like they're making a difference. There is a reason, there's a very huge difference between supplements. There's the synthetic tablet version, and then there's more whole food absorbable supplements. So what you take and how you take really does matter. This is sort of a basic plan. Again, everybody's different. There could be a reason why you might need calcium or magnesium or whatever, but this is something to start with. A good multi. I love liquids, by the way. If you've got a funny stomach, go with liquids. You're going to absorb it so well, and you do feel a difference from a liquid multi. At least I do. I take a liquid and I love it. I love the way it makes me feel. Fish oil. Who takes fish oil? Capsule, liquid? Capsule. Everybody's capsule. Do you have the Metagenics?
Yes, and I have liquid too, but
you do?
Yeah, I can't swallow, so I really. My dog has liquid.
Yeah, so does my dog. I do liquids because I just feel better with it. I have so much arthritis in my history. I have also lots of Alzheimer's and dementia